Alright, welcome Sunday afternoon yogis. I am hoping that some of you will join me for a rather restful practice this afternoon. If you have been out there in the gardening and enjoying getting out there and doing as much as you can do, that is pretty amazing. Myself, done a little bit of housework today. Resting my eyes, apart from talking to you right now, if that's okay. So we're going to do some eye exercises to start off today. Going to do lots of deep breathing. You'll just need your mat, and hopefully you're in a sunny room. Maybe having to just close the blinds just a tiny little bit, or choose to keep those blinds open, because of course you're looking at me, I'm not looking at you. So allow yourselves time to settle. I'm just going to pop my phone up, just check where I'm going to be placing my body. Mac is lying in the sun by the windows, and I'm kind of like hoping that by the time it comes around to that time, yeah, beautiful. Now, you might be able to see over there, I brought out my little tree, my tree of life. I bought it as a Christmas tree. You probably won't be able to see the little lights that are on it right now, but I thought I brought it out this afternoon because it does symbolise growth, even though there's lots of leaves falling down and making it kind of like a pretty mess, I might say. We know that there'll be buds on those trees after winter. We'll know that everything will come back to this life that comes up from the earth. So appropriate today, as we're going to allow ourselves a little bit of time to come into our zone to rest, that there is life going on inside our bodies all of the time. But we just need to re-energize some of those systems in our body so that we've got lots of energy for our week ahead. All right. Mac, you can stay there. You're a good boy. I'm standing. I can see you. You can see me. That's beautiful. You okay there? Excellent. I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to the people out there that hopefully might come in and join us. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes. So while we've got those couple of minutes, let's just use them just like the tree of life. Let's create some vibration. Not only that, when we start to move into our breath work, but more importantly, to just allow yourself to resonate with the sound of my crystal bowl and its vibration. Singing bowl. We'll move that over here. I know. And no, you can't have the stick, because I know you would love to eat that stick. So I might have to hide it. Now you go over onto your mat. Good boy. You stay on your mat. Good boy. All right. Welcome in. Let's lie down. This is a wonderful place to actually bring your body. Bend your legs fully extended if you wish to be Shavasana or corpse pose. Hands on the navel or through the chakra area, through the solar plexus. But just take a couple of moments to settle. Find your way into body as we just let go of all the stuff that's happening on the outside. And that's even maybe preparation for later on this afternoon, preparation for later on tomorrow. Good, you go back and sit down now, good boy. And we'll just wait until our bodies respond in this deep relaxation of allowing the breath to travel from the earth, finding its way into your body. As you breathe in, draw it from the belly. And try to allow yourself to really feel this movement as it makes its way through your body, filtering into all of your systems. And then beyond that, into our bodies at that cellular level. Now remember, these cells are always continually being made, being created. When one little system might just throw a little hissy, just remember that the other systems will come in to support us, but they can't do that forever, so we do have to get this balance back into our bodies. So take 5 breaths, breathing in and then out through the nose. Breathing in and then breathing out through the nose. If you need to at this point, breathing in and then out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in and out through the nose. Once we develop that sense that we're moving into a relaxed place, then this rhythm begins to just move through our body. So we're bringing it in, we're allowing it to happen. So just being now aware of that small transition in like a couple of minutes. Continue to breathe until you can start to feel the changing of your rhythm. So now it's coming through longer on your inhalation. There's a tiny pause as we shift into the exhalation. But start to try and combine these two so that we've got one full breath, like that circle of life, no beginning and no end. Now you can choose to stay there. I'm just going to just shift the curtain just because there's a big glimmer of sunshine just coming right across my eye gaze. Keep your eyes closed here. This is really important because as we start to move in to relax the muscles of our eyes, as you close your eyes, there's that softness as you allow the lids to just drop down and the muscles to relax. And you want to take your eye gaze down towards the tip of your nose. So we call this our drishti gaze. And it's important that we establish this because when we're often in our poses, even though we might be actually looking up, when we stare at something, those muscles tend to work like we're working into our screens on our laptops, on our computers, on our phones. So try and relax these muscles as you look towards the tip of your nose. So just like the neck, just like the rest of our body, our eyes and those muscles also need a little bit of work. So then when you're ready, without moving your head, take your eye gaze up towards your third eye, space between the eyebrows. So not only stretching here, using those muscles and releasing them from that starey gaze, checking into that third eye space and just allowing yourself to just see what's in there. What doesn't need to be in there? And then you're still breathing in while we're doing this work with our eyes. You're still conscious of your breath in and out through your nose. And then return your eye gaze back to the center. Now this is quite a challenging one when we take our eye gaze off to the right hand side without moving our head. And you don't realize how tight these muscles are or how your eyes are actually feeling until we start to do these movements. Quietly bringing the gaze back to the center, just gaze into the tip of your nose, and then taking your gaze to the left. Coming back to the center, and just to allow yourselves time here, because you'll already, for many of you, be feeling, I need to open my eyes, but just kind of like just relax. Because this would be the hardest one when you allow yourself to just move these muscles on a clockwise position. The two eyes going at the same time. And notice the reaction of the other senses maying or the muscles wanting to come in and help. So notice your jaws. Notice that you're opening into the throat, paying attention to your neck and your shoulders. And then going anti-clockwise. And then come to rest back at the center. Now I'm hoping that you're not in a very brightly lit room. Now I am. I'm sitting in with my lights on so that we can have a clearer vision into the video screen. So join with me if you wish to place your hands over your eyes. Have a little bit of a gap between your fingers. And then as you start to open your eyes, it's almost like you've just starting to open those blinds. Not the curtains, because we tend to pull the curtains across and whoa, starry, starry night. With blinds and shutters, there's kind of like that gradual movement. So once your eyes are open, and then just release your hands, and then just sit quietly with your eye gaze looking down towards the floor. And then drawing the chin towards the chest. Feel the stretch through the neck. At any time now, if you want to come back to close the eyes, it's fine. You bring the head back to the center, and then just take your time as you look across for your left shoulder. Good boy, Mac. Coming back to the center and to the right shoulder. And then coming back to the center. So appropriate now to allow us to come into diamond, okay? Think cat pose here when we draw the navel to the spine as we allow ourselves to fold in here. So this first forward fold, just take your time. Drawing navel back to spine, feeling the hips start to open. The back and the spine starts to stretch. And we're releasing all of those muscles. The shoulders have rolled in so we can bring the head in nice and slowly. Now, in theory, there's kind of like this little cave that we've walked into. Taking your time, you can keep your eyes open here if you wish, or closed, because it won't be too dark. There's going to be an element of light coming from your breath, coming from that life force of energy. Through the physical form, just releasing all the way through the spine, across the back, the shoulders, further down towards the hips. And each out-breath, surrender your body a little bit more. Not being afraid to just gaze into yourselves just for a couple of moments. And then to roll out of there as if we were just breaking out of our cocoon. And then take your time as you proceed to come over onto all fours. So take this into extended child pose. Hips going back towards the heels, chest coming down towards the ground if you can manage to get it that deep. A little bit of juggling around here, okay? maybe moving hips from side to side, making sure that your feet and your knees are happy. So just play around with your own body where it needs to go. Now if you're really out of kilter on one side, don't be afraid to just take a bigger movement to the opposite side. And then slowly coming back to the center, lifting up, reaching back, and just give your body that chance to just surrender. And in surrender we do, coming this close to the earth. This is really nice if anybody's had the opportunity to hook their computers or laptops or your phones outside. You might be on the grass doing your practice this afternoon. Ideally, I would love to do that for you one day. So let's keep hoping that the weather keeps on doing what she's doing for us right now. Alright, start to walk your hands, again, returning back to tabletop, and then just quietly sitting back onto your heels. Just coming into camel, nice and slow. Just moving the hands around, getting your watches and your bracelets out of the way, June. And then out comes the chest, down go the shoulders, up comes the chin, opening into the throat, and again, gazing down towards the tip of your nose, but paying attention to what's in your minds. As long as you're nice and free and open here, start to just release from the heels, moving the hips forward, creating that beautiful opening through the chest, letting the shoulders drop away from your ears. Returning if you haven't already returned, nice and slowly. Coming back as you just organise your body, because we've just been in that back bend, and come into extended puppy. So hips up and back, chest forward and down to the ground. So releasing through the back to the shoulders. Keeping the chest open and keeping that energy flowing through your body. So talking nicely to your body as you allow yourselves now to bring those elbows to the floor, to tuck your toes under and to rise up into your dolphin pose. Now I'm just aware of when I'm looking at the camera that there might be that sun shining over my screen. So I'm just going to release. If you want to stay there just for a couple of moments, just see if I can pull, oh, the sun's gone. It's so low at the moment, but it is really, really warm. Good. Now if you need to come down, come to child pose and surrender. Keep your focus on yourself, making sure that your intuitiveness is now taking your attention into whatever you're feeling, whatever is happening right now for yourself. And so we roll out of here and we'll find downward facing dog. So remember, your dolphin is an option if your wrists are feeling just a little bit, I would say, playing around with mice and being in front of screens. The hands, the shoulders, the forearms are all going to have that little impact of those positions that we're in a long time. So let's stretch it out by coming to plank. And finding that strength coming through your legs and taking it back into downward facing dog and encouraging the heels to go down. Coming forward again into plank. Looking out, just follow your nose. Pushing down through the balls of your feet to drive the heels back. And then they're already set now. You should already feel a stretch through the calves And once those hips are up, see if you can surrender those heels a little further down to the ground. Now we're going to come back to sit. So just take your time, bringing one leg through, folding it over, and come to right angle. Awesome. So it doesn't matter which way you're sitting on your mat, and it's relevant to your space, whether you're in your bedroom, your lounge, okay? As we come in to take our lateral movements. So just take your time, first of all, side to side. So just playing with how you feel coming from the hips. And to remember here, because we'll be bringing in that rotation, that we don't want to have the legs too far apart. Good. Because now when you come through, you come forward. Okay, so I've come over my right leg. And I've brought my left arm to the inside. I've kept my right hand just to the outside. And then I'll come back up. And it's almost like creating a windmill. So we lift up and we come over. So the arm that's going up stays to the outside. The arm that's coming over comes into the inside. However, depending on how your body is now responding, now that arm can come to the outside of your foot, as long as you don't let your hip come off the ground. Come to the outside of your ankle. So we come up and we come over and across. We come up, we come over and across. So as you start to open the body in all of those different angles, noticing how one part, one side, often will respond a whole lot easier than the other side. So now it might be that you're actually finding your way down to your nose, your knee, with your nose. But don't drop your head, make sure your whole body's coming down. Easy on one side, bit more. Don't force it. And then the next time you're coming back through, just relax. All right, I'll shuffle around now onto my mat. And so we'll reverse all that in your back lane. Now if you want to bend your legs here, or if you want to go right down to the floor here, that's fine. I like to have a little bit of room in between my feet, a little bit of room there for my hips. So as I lift up, feet go down, hips go up, chest goes out, shoulders go down. Try and rotate in so that you're not rolling to the outside of your ankles. And then we come all the way back down. We'll take those legs out wide, comfortable, and we will come forward. So again, working with your out breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Closing your eyes here and feeling your way through your body. So almost here I'm holding on to the earth. I want to have that sensation that I'm kind of like in this place of just grounding my body. So relaxing through the shoulders and the neck. And it's amazing when you let go of the shoulders that you can suddenly get that depth coming from your hips. Don't push it. And then we'll walk back nice and slowly. Just take a moment to come to sit with your legs crossed, or if they need to be in that open angle, that's fine. So let's just allow ourselves to extend the right arm. Bring the hand down in between the shoulder blades. The left arm out to the side, hand sitting on top of the elbow. So coming into that happy cow face, attached. So as the arm goes behind you, just see if you can link up with the fingers. Now if you can't bring that arm all the way around, and can't connect to the fingers, just allow the hand to stay on top of the elbow. Don't pull it across, just allow yourself to sit up really tall here. Good. So if you're here in your more traditional catch, that's cool. If your hand's just on top of your elbow, then that's fine. But open your hips here again and come forward. So you can see here that you've really got to be able to have those hands caught together. And you might find that one side you're going to catch fine, just like when we're doing the lateral movement. And then we slowly come all the way back through. So you can cross your legs, release your arms, release the arm. Just do a nice shrug through the shoulders. Close your eyes and just sit for a moment so that you can feel what's happened as you just took that movement through one side. So when you're ready, left arm extending down in between the shoulder blades. Right arm, up we go. Okay, right out to the side. So remember there's a big rotator cuff here. So making sure that you come around to come up. Good. Or again, hand to the elbow. So the forward movement is quite easy when the hands are sitting here. Even if that hand going down the back needs to slide up a little bit, but just make sure that you don't push your head down to the ground. Let's open those legs. I'm going to bring them in a little bit closer this time, so you take your option depending on how your backs and your hips are feeling. So coming forward. Make sure you're breathing. Big breaths. We come back out, nice and slowly. Let's release. Let's release. Now just take your arms just out to the side. Just wriggle around with your legs. Make sure they're in a comfortable angle. And just close your eyes and sit up tall. So staying with this beautiful opening, chest to shoulders, backs to shoulders. Taking your time as we find our reverse tabletop. I call it my upside down tabletop, okay? This is supine, belly down is your prone position. So hands again. So this one, we create a little bit of a twist. So we just lift up the hips just a little bit. Maneuver the hands around to where they need to go to sit underneath those shoulders. Feet can be a little bit wider. And then as soon as I let the arm go, so I've let my left arm come away from the ground, lifting up those hips. So creating that beautiful tabletop. Whoopsie, one leg's been taken away, but you're going to be fine. Pushing down to lift up. And then when we come down, we come back. Take plenty of time. Now if you need to rest in between, shake out your hands, turn your hands upside down, that's fine. Just walking sometimes is enough, turning the hand over, turning the hand over. So the thighs and my buttocks are taking all of that load. And so then I'm ready, and up I go, and over. Just letting that head move with the spine. Feel the stretch from the hips through the back, out of that shoulder. And then we come all the way back and releasing the hips to the floor this time. Shuffling forward and then rolling down through the spine to take a rest. So you can have legs bent. Bring the hands, doesn't matter where your body is, especially if you're on your back, to bring your hands back to your solar plexus chakra. Have one there, again have one on your heart chakra. Now, when we go through some movements, there's an elevation of, wow, man, that body's really working. No, I haven't just run around the block, but there's that kind of like that sensation, that vibration, okay? But now I need you to kind of like just slow it down. So we're coming back into the body at rest. It shouldn't take very long. Go back and you work with the breath. You start to reflect on small changes, whether it's your breathing or how your body is responding. So here for many of us, almost like a little meditation, kind of like halfway through our asana practice. And so maybe just imagine, like I could be on the beach right now. It would probably have to be somewhere else. So I'll just imagine my favourite place, and you can do the same. It doesn't have to be a beach either, by the way. You just could be lying on the grass with a beautiful oak tree or similar, just shading that strong sunshine from your face, but your body being able to absorb all of that vitamin D. And just feel the pull of the energy when we have what nature gives us and we take so much for granted. So not only feeding our bodies right now, feeding our minds, feeding our souls. So at every level, and it doesn't matter who you believe in. It's free as the universe gives it to us. So everyone should almost be kind of like mellow now, as if we were going to just move straight into relaxation. But we're going to bring you back to see if we can just give that body a little bit more energy. So take your time as you roll yourselves over, coming just into tabletop. So here we are in our prone position. Hello, Mac. Tucking our toes under to come into that downward facing dog. Now, take your time and see how much distance you can get between the hands and the feet without collapsing forward. So lift up off the heels, drive the hips back, let the heels go down. And then you can lift back up off the heels and then maybe just swivel those feet back and smidge and more. And then just lift the hips up, drive them back down. Let that nice softness through the back and the shoulders. Surrender to open your chest. And down go the heels. So as we come forward into plank, I'll take my knees to the floor. Okay, thank you very much, Lee. We'll come through a nice smooth cobra. And then just lift those knees and thighs off the floor. Lifting the hips up and turning those toes back over, going back into downward facing dog. And stepping your right foot through to the inside of your hands. Nice long lunge. There goes the left knee to the floor. You're going to release your foot. Take your time to make sure that you can lift that knee off the ground to feel the thigh. Now we're going to bend that leg. Make sure you don't lift your hips up. Make sure your hips stay down. Got my fingertips, left hand still to the floor. Pulling back, rotate out to look to the right side. Find that foot and then draw that heel to my hip. I'm going to let that foot go, tucking the toes under. When I release the knee, I'll scissor now. So keep the foot at the back parallel. Have your hands out wider if you wish to. Just make sure you don't lock up into your front knee. But let's go forward here. So scoop it up like cat and fold in. Coming forward to bend into that front leg, slipping it back into downward facing dog. Always take time to breathe here. Have any rotations so you can feel what we've done to the body. Keep working it to feel that freedom. And then come forward again to plank, taking the knees to the floor. I'm just coming through gently into my extension. I like to come through almost like that smooth transition. And then we can lift back up, turn the toes over, and then go back into downward facing dog. So when you're ready, bring your left foot through to the inside of your hands. Make sure you've got lots of adjusting with that right leg. Knee to the floor, release the foot. So again, just make sure that your hips don't go back and you're on your kneecap. Hips forward and down. So that when you bend the leg, you're sitting into the thigh, okay, into that front of your leg, out of your kneecap. And I'll pull back from the hips to rotate and then catch the foot. Then I can adjust the hands. I can come down a little bit deeper on the side. Good. And then just closing your eyes. Breathing, feeling the breath. And then gently releasing the leg. And tucking your toes under, up we go, and then back into your scissor. Plenty of time to fold forward. The foot at the back parallel, so heel to hip, hip to shoulder. So coming forward this time to not step back to downward facing dog, but to bring the back foot forward and to fold forward. Just let the shoulders go. Suddenly when we're forward here and we're on our feet, quite different now. The work we've done, hopefully allowing you to just relax through the shoulders. Hands can be on the feet, hands can be at the elbows, hands can be around here, hands can be here. So wherever you feel comfortable, we've connected to your body. Because now we're going to push those feet down and rise up into mountain. Take plenty of time to extend the arms above the head. And slowly bring the hands to the heart center. Take a moment. We've come a long way from there up to here. And when you're ready, quietly open your eyes as we move to wide angle. Awesome. Checking on the time. Beautiful. Feet parallel, hands to your hips. Coming halfway into that tabletop. And then coming all the way to look in between your legs. Releasing the hands from the hips to bring them behind to interlace, to bring the shoulder blades together and keep on looking in between your legs. In your own time, you can start to release the hands and just allow the arms to move individually. Try not to let them drop out to the side. Try to keep the shoulder blades together. So hands come down to find your ankles. We come back out, but not quite tabletop. Good. Just keep your eye gaze again soft to the tip of your nose. And then try to allow yourself, because some of you will need to climb up your legs a little bit. As you pull in, I need your elbows to come up, look up, so you can get that space across the back and the shoulders. You'll feel it into your inner thighs as well. When you release the ankles, Just take your time, just bringing your hands just in front of your chest. Walking your feet in just enough to just sit those hips down in between the heels. All right, so a little message for those of you that can't quite get down here, okay? It's a really good idea that you don't know, because I didn't say that you were going to come into this beautiful squat position, because it's a beautiful release through the back and the hips. But you kind of like want to be up here, good, not down here. So even if I was doing the gardening, or I was, you know, doing some nice herbal recipes in my bowl, I'd still want all of this released. So you just take your time to just bring the arms to the inside of the legs to open those hips. Good, but don't push against the knees. Just close your eyes. Now if you happen to be off your heels, it's fine. If you manage to scoot away and find a couple of books that can sit there so that you can sit down, then that's fine. Not here for very long. So in fact, we're going to come up now. So be very careful as we come up to stand. Good. And now relax. As you come back out into your wide angle, turn your right foot out and come into your triangle or trikonasana. Take your arms out to the side. And to Sun Warrior, travel down on the back leg. So feel the work that we've already done laterally. And then come back to the center. And from the back to the front to shift. The hand to just go to the inside. And let's extend the arm over the ear. Here I like to look at the toe. You can keep the arm up here if you want to. You can look up for the arm, just making sure that you're really opening through the chest. And try not to throw your arm out behind. Hence why it follows your beautiful side plane here, and you can stretch. And we'll come back to the center. So again, it's kind of like that floating motion as we turn around to the other side. Travel down the back leg, Sun Warrior. Coming back to the center, from the back to the front, float across, and over we go. Now, noticing too, you might be able to get a little bit deeper on one side, as long as you're not falling over to the side. Good, on the side I could probably catch my big toe, but on the other side, can't come any further past that calf or to the ankle. So it's okay, but you just know when you're doing some work by yourself that you work primarily with the tighter side, and then the looser side, kind of like to think it's my weak link, okay, I want to make it stronger. So you might like to find your pose, stand a little bit longer even, as we come back, feet parallel, hands coming back on the hips, good. Let's take the arms behind and interlace the hands first. Just lift out the chest. Keep your eye gaze soft. Lift up the chin. Move the hips forward. Keep the legs strong. Coming back to the center, really slowly. You have to push your feet firmly down into the floor. Come to tabletop. And then all the way through, we look in between those legs. Each breath, a little deeper into pose. But remember, where your feet are, it's like the roots of our tree, connecting to the earth to allow us to surrender. One more breath. Hands come back. Take plenty of time. You're just going to drop to the floor just in front of your chest. And then we'll look out and we'll turn around to find our lunge. So I've got my left foot in the front, and my right leg out the back. So I can step that left foot back into downward facing dog. And coming forward into plank, and see if we can hover and land to the ground. Awesome. Take your time, wriggling your body around, taking your elbows out to the side and your hands sitting close to being on top of each other. And then I want you just to place your head just to the side. Come back to the breath here and breathe in and out through the nose. Big belly breaths. So you're releasing the body now back to the ground. As we breathe into the front, feel the energy move into the back. Bringing your heads back and then slowly taking the head across to the sides. Just working your way through the shoulders here, wriggling your hips so your feet can be out a little bit wider as well. And bringing your head back to the center. Again, just wriggling through the hips. And bringing your forehead now to your fingers. So notice that the shoulders have lifted just a tiny little bit. Making sure that you're feeling your way through the neck, crossing down through the shoulders. Through the back to the hips and down the legs. Take 4 more big belly breaths. As you feel that energy. Now take your time as you bring your hands now to the outside of the chest. You just lift up into a little cobra, only to lift the hips up, and then take your way down into your more traditional chakras. If you can, allowing your shoulders to roll down towards the ground, palms looking up, third eye to the floor. Now if this is too much and you're not even, remember elbows to fists. Releasing so that there's no collapsing anywhere here, but just paying attention to your body. What are you feeling? What are you sensing? And then as I just look out to the big clock, let's find our way really slowly back to sit. So close your eyes. I want you just to sit really tall here, all the way through the spine. And come all the way to the crown of your head. Just giving your body a chance to move from each of those planes that we've worked through. From the floor halfway and then eventually coming up to stand. And feeling the change in our body as we then came back down to the floor. But give yourselves time to settle as we come to the end of our Sunday afternoon practice. 45 minutes. I often feel like you're being cheated a little, but I do know that there are other teachers coming in to give you other exercises for your Sunday afternoon or for your week ahead. So as we finish our practice this beautiful afternoon, as it's still warm and sunny, to bring hands to prayer to the heart centre, to bow our heads. Always remembering to say thank you to our bodies. While everything is in harmony, this body will respond accordingly. If it's just a little bit out of harmony, just sit for a couple of minutes and you'll be able to sense what is actually happening and pull everything back in to being back into balance. So let's honor breath and life together. And then quietly open your eyes. Bring your heads back to sit on your shoulders. All of you out there, namaste. Have a great week, everyone. Okay, so enjoy and remember those eye exercises. Sometimes all that you need to do is look away from the screen, especially if you are Zooming and doing lots of meetings. All right, so have a wonderful week and I will see you all on Friday. Bye.